This is a short video on substituting with algebra. You've probably already been doing this for a long time. For instance, if I take a really simple question from, let's say, area, the area of a rectangle, we might use a formula like area A equals L for length and maybe a W for width. You might have used breadth for something else. But essentially we have two letters here, and you might have had a times in between them. We can remember that L and W pushed together actually means times. Whenever we take two letters in algebra, it means times. And you've been doing algebra so long as you've been using a formula of any kind at all. So if you knew you had a rectangle where this side was 4 and this side was 6, and then you went and said 4 times by 6. Well, you've been doing substituting in algebra every time you've done that. So let's take an example that actually looks more like the algebra you could do in a maths class. You might get something like x plus 2y. And you might also have some information telling you to substitute in x is equal to 3 and y is equal to, let's say, minus 1. So in this case, you would need to substitute that x value of 3 in for the x there, and substitute that y value of 1 for the y there. So let's have a look at that. That becomes 3 plus 2 times by minus 1. And be really careful here. Make sure you do your multiply by. Make sure that you actually put the whole of the minus 1 in, so that we have 3 plus 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. Now we need to remember that plus minus, that becomes negative overall. If you have two signs right beside each other, one positive and one negative, the whole thing is always negative. So what I've really got here is 3 minus 2. In this case, that's equal to 1. Let's look at that with something just a little bit larger. If I had 4x squared plus 3y minus x, and I was told to work this out with x is equal to 5 and y is equal to minus 2. Well then, I'd have to substitute in my numbers. I'd have 4 times by x is 5, so that becomes 5 squared, plus 3 times by y is minus 2, so I put minus 2 in, and then minus 5. Now order of operations becomes important. What do I have to do first? This one. That's going to be 4 multiplied by 25, so that'll be 100. Let's look at the next bit as we go. I've got 3 times by minus 2, that's minus 6. Once again, I get a plus and a minus together. Minus 5. So what I've got here is 100 minus 6, that's 94, minus 5, that's 89. And that's how we do substituting.